Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wifey Vibe podcast. I'm your host, Kara McCarran. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I wanted to talk, I'm going to keep this one a little bit short because I've been creating content most of today and my face and everything is just tired of creating content. But I have something on my heart that I really want to talk about, and that is nervous system work. So I am currently about I guess almost shit almost 3 months out of my house. Wait, April to May to June, July. Oh my gosh, almost 3 months out of my marital home. And I have talked about nervous system work, I think in the previous podcast. I'm not positive because I'm not, strategizing this podcast like I should. So I'm not positive if I talked a lot about it, but I'm talking about it again because it's that important. But I really want, like, what I hope you come away with from this episode is that you understand that there are so many ways to do things around healing your nervous system, but there's no shortcuts to healing your nervous system. And what do I mean by that? Like, I have done a ton of personal development work. I have done a lot of coaching. I am a coach. I've been coached. I've done a lot of stuff. And what keeps coming back is until you're really ready to deal with like the bedrock, whatever the bottom layer is. I'm going to say bedrock because I don't know if that's right or not, but for today it's going to be. But whatever that bottom foundation is that you haven't dealt with, I'm here to tell you, like, once you start dealing with it, it can rock you. And I'm gonna actually have a guest on in the next couple of days, hopefully, a client of mine that I did her launch for, and she's actually doing some healings with me for me, and a lot of things have kind of bubbled up that I thought I had dealt with. And so I'm going to have her come on the show and we're going to talk about all the stuff that she does and like how it's impacting my life. But I really want you to take note of there's a lot of tools and things that people say that work to regulate your nervous system. And don't get me wrong, there are. But at the end of the day, if those things that originally dysregulated your nervous system aren't dealt with, or the new things that were piled on top of the stuff that weren't dealt with have not been cleared, it's really, really hard to have any kind of life that you're excited about. That's me personally. Like, I'm feeling so much better that I'm out of the environment with my ex-husband, but I'm also really, really sad still. Like, a lot of these things have come up where my nervous system is calmer, but it doesn't feel necessarily safe yet because now I'm by myself and I have all these other things that keep coming up. But it's really important, sometimes I get caught up in thinking like, holy fuck, do we really think this much as humans? Like 2000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, whatever thousand years ago, people didn't think to this degree, right? Like we didn't have thoughts like we have. It was just like, where do we get our food and how do we not get murdered by a tiger or whatever? Woolly mammoth. And I get that. So I sometimes feel like, man, we overcomplicate this and we do overcomplicate the shit out of things for sure. But here we are. This is when we're alive and this is when our time is. And so it's easy to look back and be like, why do we overcomplicate? Well, we do. And I think that's part of it is there's so many biohacks and there's so many things that you can do to calm this shit and that shit and cold plunges and blah blah blah. But like at the end of the day, I think a lot of those things, and I'm guilty of them myself, but I think a lot of those things are just covering up the work that actually needs to be done. And the work that actually needs to be done is healing the nervous system from the stuff that went on, not just in general, but like sitting with the thing. And I've done belief code, I've done emotion code, I've done body code, and all of those things are super helpful. But I don't, I still don't feel like all of it has been processed in my body. And the thing about the type of healing that I'm getting now, it does feel like that. And maybe there's going to be more, and I know there's going to be more, but I just want you to understand, like, you can't hack your way through healing the things that need to be healed. Like you just can't do it. And the longer you prolong that fact, the more misery and suffering you're going to experience. Like that's just the truth. And there's lots of incredible healers out there. Don't, like that is for sure. I know plenty of really incredible healers. But just know that there's no like hop skipping the stuff that really needs healing. And I hope that that resonates for you because I really think it's important that you understand that there's no there's no skirting around it. And I think when we talk about like a lot of the biohacking things, um, that's a version of trying to just bypass it. And I think um, for me anyway, personally, that pushed me and that kept me moving and that kept me going in the right direction. But now I'm here and now I need to actually really look at the things that I maybe thought I had processed in the past. Like, for example, the death of my son. If you don't know, I had a baby way too early in my pregnancy and he only lived for about 15 minutes. And although I felt it in my body 11 years ago and I've allowed myself to cry here and there on his birthday and that kind of thing, I haven't, there's a lot I didn't say out loud that I'm saying now out loud. And because I'm shaking up the tray of sand, all the debris is coming up. And so now I'm working through that debris. Whereas before, I think I was more intellectual. And, you know, let's be honest, a lot of personal development dudes are going to be like, why do you want to focus on that? Let's move forward and la la la. Well, because for women in particular, our body keeps score. Like I know I birthed a child that died. Like I just know that. And no amount of like personal development's gonna, it's spiritual bypassing is what it is. And so I think biohacking is much the same. It's like we don't give ourselves that opportunity to just sit in it and like not to sit in it to live in it, but to sit in it to like really, okay, this is what's happening. I need to move this through my body. So if you're interested in I mean I hope you are. I'm gonna have her name is Nancy and she's gonna come I'm gonna invite her onto the show and we're gonna have a discussion about this and so you can really see and hear a different perspective on this kind of thing. So that's it. That was a really short one. I just kind of wanted to keep things short today because it was I don't know, important that I said it. But if you've been here for a long time, I really appreciate it. If you're new, welcome. The wifey vibe is all about, I don't know, I think it's just evolving as we go. And it's like really about the feminine energy still, which is always what I've loved to talk about. But as I evolve, so are my podcast episodes. But anyway, I love you so much. We'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.